let's go. Let's play f4. Everything is good. Gotta check the camera always. Yeah, I guess I have to move this way. All right, here we go. Um, yeah, so in this position, I'm not gonna go with the bird bozo. This is a rapid game. I'm not feeling that frisky. We're just gonna go with some standard stuff. Just some standard fare. Yeah, let's get into the action. So here we play e4. Here we play e4. Um, yeah, just getting a normal good position here. Pretty generic commentary at the moment. But yeah, pretty much if they ignore the center, you should just try to take as much of the center as possible. Here you play c3, we're going to play d4 soon. This is in my course. I can't remember which chapter it is. It's one of the Sicilians. It's the Fianchetto Sicilian. Just cannot remember the exact number. I would guess chapter number 25. Really not sure if that's accurate, but you know, so be it. It's time to go. Um, we could play d4 here. We could also play bishop b5. A good rule of thumb is that bishop b5 is going to be fine so long as they can't play knight e7, and here they cannot play knight e7. So this should be good. Honestly, I'm not 100% certain. If I am going to go for this take, though, for this capture, actually, now that I think about it, yeah, if I'm going to go for this chop, I should not be playing d4, because ultimately I would just be opening up the position. Yeah, so perhaps... I gotta review the theory, honestly. Knight f6. Knight f6, what is he doing? All right, yeah, I'm realizing that this might have been a slight mistake here. Because, yeah, in these positions after takes, just that does not mesh with the c3 push. If anything, after I chop here, I should have pushed c4. I'm going to play queen a4. It looks a bit weird, but I'm defending e4. I'm also pinning the a-pawn, so he can't force my bishop to take a decision anytime soon. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to castle, and then I'm going to choose something between d4 and e5, or just d3, bishop e3, and a chop. I think my queen is going to be quite useful on a4, though, because it's defending against bishop a6 in the long term. So there's nothing like takes, and bishop a6 ideas. All right, I'll castle here. Yeah, I really like this queen a4 move, actually. It's just a very annoying move. Playing this guy, is that guy from Poland? I would assume it's from Poland because the snow is on top, as a gentleman once instructed me. Yeah. I guess bro could try d6, though normally that's a hard move for people to make because you are losing a pawn. Yeah, he should definitely play d6, though. d6, okay, queen c7. e5, knight d5. You could definitely play e5. I guess I can't play d4 just yet. Um, yeah, d4. Well, actually, wait, d4 knight takes e4. I have d5, and I'm hitting both of these. That should work. The question is takes, knight takes e4, then d5? No, then he's hitting me with queen b6. That's not going to be fun. Yeah. All right. E5. The thing I don't like about e5, knight d5, d4 is that then he plays d6 and he starts crunching. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to get swashbuckled by Captain Crunch, if you know what I mean. Um, I mean, what to do here though? Do I just play d3? Yeah, I'll keep waiting with d3 actually. Like at the moment, he's still nowhere close to forcing us to commit anywhere. This is very weird for the bird, I might add. I think I've only done this in one other game on this channel. Played something like Queen A4. It looks like we're in a sort of reverse perk setup though now with this, and Queen A4 and Bishop B5 is very normal in those setups. So that's a fun fact for y'all. That's a fun fact for the road. Just chilling here, just enjoying myself a nice morning coffee. Just kidding. I already finished my Starbucks coffee. I gotta go get another. Gotta go get another cup of Joe from my favorite Starbucks barista, Jose. A great man. A great man with a great mission. All right, bro wants to put his bishop on g4 here. Let's play... If I play h3, then maybe he has knight h5. I don't think knight h5 is much of a problem, though. Yeah, knight h5, g3, that's not going to be an issue. I'm just continuing to leave this here. I'll leave this here as long as he lets me. Bishop d7. All right, that's a good move. Now after a6, I might be getting into some trouble. Yeah, I probably should have been thinking about this rather than... Reminiscing about my Starbucks barista. Yeah. Yeah. Positionally speaking, I might be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, here, I think it's time to get our queen back. Let's put the queen on c2. He could play knight b4. Knight b4 is a very good move, actually. Things are definitely getting frisky in the Cabbage Patch. He could try, yeah, knight b4 takes. Uh-oh. Well, actually, that I don't think that's that big a deal yet. I could play bishop e3 there. I have some pressure. I could also flick in knight a3. That's not that clear a position. Maybe objectively he's slightly better, but it's not going to be simple. I definitely messed this up somewhere, though. I think my problem started with bishop b5 here. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just play d4, according to my course. Haven't looked at my course recently. Bossman's got me doing other things, trying to stay focused on what's in front of me. And by that I mean it's time to go. You got to make a move at some point, pal. We don't have all day. Night before, okay. Bro goes for it. Yeah, by the way, I should have mentioned, in this position, I would have loved to play queen a4 and maintain the bishops, but then he just takes here with a pin. So I can't do that. I had to accept this. We could play knight a3 here. Knight a3 is really interesting. Bishop e3 is also pretty interesting. I'm going to play bishop e3 first, try to get him to commit with b6, and only then play knight a3. b6, we're going to play knight a3, bishop c6, b5, knight c4, and a4. And we got a pseudo BOGO Indian structure. Some weird pseudo BOGO stuff. Yeah, let's play knight a3 here. Cannot play knight c3 because we'd be walking straight into the churrasco. The old classic shish kebab that made Brazil famous. All right. What am I doing here? I think I should keep this rook on the a file. I don't think this rook has anything to do. I don't know, though. I mean, like, what I'm thinking of is, like, knight c4, a4, b5, and I feel like maybe this rook would be useful. No, what am I talking about? Let's just play rook ac1. Let's just keep it simple. Gotta keep it simple. A lot of pressure here. He really should play b6, but then I'm going to be a happy camper. I'm going to play b5, and I have decent control of the light scores at that point. b6, b5, and then I'll play queen b3, knight c4, a4. At that point, I think I have a fine setup. Another thing I have here, actually, wait, look at this. I could play even d4 here. I'm always a little bit hesitant to do something like that, though, because he has the bishops, right? He has the bishops. You got to be careful when they have the bishops to be opening the position like that, right? He goes there. I think that this is a good trade here. We could also keep the position closed with b5. I think that this is a good trade just because he's really weakening this square here. Yeah, we could play knight e5 now. This looks okay. My knights are getting some good squares here. And of course, I'd be happy to exchange off his bishop here. My my desk situation is so precarious at the moment. I have the monitor on one with the camera, and then on the other I have my mouse and my keyboard, and that's all because if I had it all on one desk, then the desk is gonna start like shaking around whenever I move the mouse. So I have to. I have a very precarious setup. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah. What is this? We take here, they take. I'm solving most of their problems for them. You don't want to solve your opponent's problems for them. That's like rule number one of chess. Do not solve your opponent's problems for them. We play knight c4. They play b5. Then I play knight a5. That looks good. There's a lot of pressure here. Maybe he could try c4. Then I take, and I take this one. I don't see what he has there. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. He has to play b5 immediately if he wants to crunch, because otherwise I'm going to play a4 and b3. All right, he's doing that. I could load up on this with queen b3, but he's going to play bishop e8 anyway. I think that's what he's going for. Let's play a4 here. Just secure this knight. We have really good knights now. All right, what is this? So, okay, so bro played bishop e8. Bro played bishop e8. He's defending f7. Yeah, this is very interesting. I'm not sure if I should be worried about knight h5. Knight h5 looks a little annoying. Should we play g4 to stop knight h5? He could play knight d7 otherwise, though. I mean, I'm not just... Knight h5, that actually just doesn't do anything, though. I shouldn't be worried there. I think... What am I going to do? We could play queen d2 here. Actually, yeah, we should be playing queen d2 and f5. Looks interesting. My issue with f5, though, is that they can take knight takes e4, and then they're hitting this. So we got to do it properly. Another thing I could try is b4 here. I could try for b4 at some point. We need to figure out a way to get the queen out, though. We wouldn't want to do it yet. Wait, I guess actually, yeah, now for right now, I should just be defending this pawn. Let's just play b3 here. Pawn is defended. If he plays knight h5, I can play queen f2 with not a care in the world. Knight h... Well, that's going to be very weird, actually. Look at this. Knight h5, queen f2, knight d7. Bro's trying that. I could play knight g4. Just keep the pot stirring. Do not want to simplify his position for him. We have ideas of f5 now. Especially, yeah, now there's no knight hanging on e5. f5 is going to be very strong here. He could try f5. I'll play knight f2, and then I'm going to be playing for e5 as soon as possible. Very weird stuff at the moment. Dude, there's so many random sounds in Argentina, man. I have no idea what's going on most of the time. Yeah, I got so many questions. All right, there. We could take and play queen b2. We could take, and then I like b4 a lot just to keep his knight out. Um, yeah, I mean, well, wait. Can I play f5 here? What if we play queen f2, takes? I'm gonna play for f5 soon. That looks great. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's definitely go for that. I don't know what he's doing. He should not be trading bishops here. In case you didn't notice, he built the fianchetto structure here. You build the fianchetto structure, you don't want to trade off the slumbering dragon. Because who's going to protect the dragon's den if the dragon gets traded? You know what I mean? It's common sense. All right, I'm going to take now. Oh, we got some sneaky tricks coming up. I guess it's not a sneaky trick, though. Look, I was going to do this, and if he takes, I have mate. I could play f5 here. f5 looks really, really strong. Like, okay, we could play knight h6, king g7, takes, king takes, and I'm mating, but the problem is he plays knight f6 instead. I don't want to solve his problems for him. Like, knight h6, king g7, could we play f5 there? He takes, I take, he takes. No, my queen doesn't have anything. Let's just move the knight back. Yeah, I think he has huge weaknesses now. I guess, maybe I shouldn't have traded this, though. Yeah, I don't know why I gave his knight this square. There was no need to give the knight that square. I still think... I feel like I should have plenty of chances here, honestly, though. We need to just defend the pawn that's worth defending, though. Let's defend this pawn. We just want to keep this as compact as possible. I'm going to just start breaking through on the king side. He's going to win a few pawns here. I think I have a lot of compensation, though. f5 is going to come with huge threats. Yeah. He better be ready. He better get those bills ready to pay the piper. Piper's about to get paid. I can't play b4 because of knight takes e4. We need to just start breaking things open on the king side. Let's play g4 here. If nothing else, I'm just going to take and play queen g3, king h1, rook g1 with a very nice attack. Takes. All right. I think I should take with the knight. Yeah, let's take with the knight. Ultimately, having like some semblance of structural integrity doesn't really matter here. There. Right, can we play queen g3? Yeah, he's wasting time. He should just be grabbing this pawn and trying to survive. He shouldn't be wasting time. Queen g3, I'm just getting closer and closer to an attack here. Now already knight takes f6 is a big issue. I guess he should try king g7. We should play e5, though. I can't play f5, actually. This is a little risky. Maybe, wait, could I play knight e5? Takes. No, he plays queen d6 there. Yeah. Let me play, what are we going to do here? e5? I just don't see what e5 does. Dude, there's like this grating noise in this apartment. I can't really describe it. It sounds like someone is like it's just scraping a plate with forks. I don't even know what that's called. What is that called? That thing that Ace Ventura was doing? Y'all who watch the movie know what I'm talking about. where he's torturing someone by grating the fork against the plate. That's the only way I can describe it. I have no other way to describe it. Yeah, it's too bad we can't play f5 here. Dude, what is that sound, man? That sound is so annoying. e5, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I guess I'm just supposed to transfer over. Yeah, let's put the rook. I'm going to put the rook on g2. Things are going down to the wire as usual in these rapid games. We'll figure it out later. Now that my queen is here, I can transfer this rook over. I don't need to worry about this d3 pawn. I want to keep these as compact as possible. It's critical that my king stays defended while there. I'm taking this way, though. We're going to play rook g2 soon. I think that was a big mistake. Bro panicked. Bro got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Okay, I guess he has to try this, but I'm going to play rook g2. I think he's going to be in some trouble. There. All right, let's play rook g2. I got to play quickly. I was chit-chatting for too long. I do need to watch out for this pawn here. I guess I'm going to play rook f3. Okay, wait, can we play knight e5 here? Takes. No, not yet. We'll play rook f3 for now. If he takes here, I'm going to play queen d7 with some sneaky tricks. Queen d7 comes with a lot of sneaky tricks. I'm threatening knight e5 there. Very, very tricky stuff. Okay, b4 knight takes e4. Why does this always happen? b4 knight takes e4. He's doing, okay, yeah. Do I have anything else here? f5, g5. Yeah, let's just play f5 here. I think this works. If g5, I'm going to throw in a check. He could play rook g8. Actually, yeah, rook g8 makes a lot of sense, but no, I play... Yeah, he's in trouble here. We got the classic triple-double. The world-famous triple-double. If he plays g5, I throw in a check. Got the broken mouse. I really should have charged it before this. I definitely should have charged this before it. Yeah, what is he thinking about? Bro has like one choice, and one choice only. What that choice is, I don't know. But yeah, g5, I'll play queen h5, h4. I think I have fantastic pressure there. If he takes, I could throw in a check. He has to play king f8, but then I play queen h6. That's completely winning. Bro is definitely in the dragon's den there. If I take, he takes. I feel like that's completely winning. Let's play queen h4, though. Let's just keep it simple. He's going to play g5. I have to hurry up, man. It's literally getting to like 15 seconds, and here I'm still trying to chit-chat. Over here acting like Johnny Carson. I guess he's going to play queen f4. Yeah, let's play e5 here. Just trying to break through. I don't even know what's happening. He could try queen h4 if he wants. There. I'm taking this. Nice. This is good. Yeah, this is going down to the wire. Yeah, he's going to throw in some checks. Dude, what is this position, man? All right, yeah, that was that was an extremely close game. Some spellbinding chess. Some truly spellbinding chess. Look at that graph, man. 78.5, I'll take it. You just got to enjoy life sometimes and play for the love of the game. All right. So here, all this happened. Is bishop b5, is this the best, though? That's what I was wondering. I feel like d4 is what's recommended in my course. Yeah, d4 is best here. This gets really wild. Like, they take here. If they play d5, you can always play e5. Apparently, e5 is inaccurate. You can even take here. That's very surprising. I guess, yeah, no, this makes sense. Your pawns are getting split, but you're going to get d5 and you're going to kick their knight out. It's going to be okay. Very, very weird stuff, though, honestly. They could also play knight f6. You definitely... Oh, sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah, you don't have to play e5 here. You can play d5. This position is great. All right. So I will try to remember that. Anyway, I made a mistake. I played bishop e5. I felt that something was wrong here. Queen a4 is a really big mistake. I'm trying to defend e4, but ultimately my queen is just not going to be good here. Castles, queen c7, d3. Yeah, this just got a little frisky. I wanna look at this position a little more though. What was I supposed to do here? Just d3. Okay. And then castles. I'm probably gonna go for the chop at some point. I should be a little careful not to go for the chop that soon though. For instance, if I do something like this, if I castle here, he could play something like c4 and immediately compromise my structure. Apparently I'm still okay here after e5 though, which is interesting. Yeah, e5, I'm winning a pawn. Look at that. He's going to check, king h1, knight g4. I played d4. This pawn looks like it should be lost here, but I've compromised a lot of my light squares. He plays something like c5. Even if I end up winning this pawn, his bishop is going to be superb here. Yeah, computer thinks that black is slightly better here, and I would be inclined to agree. This is not going to be that fun. So you should just be a little patient. Don't go for the chop that soon. Instead, we're just going to be patient, be humble, try to win with grace, and try to lose with dignity. Play h3, and we're going to play queen e2, a4, knight a3. Just a really standard setup. This is like a classic anti-Sicilian. Just got to be patient. Got to wait for the right moment to eventually push for e5 or f5, but we want to build up our position a lot before committing to one of those. So I played queen a4, which was a mistake. All this happened. h3. I thought that was fine. I wanted to put my bishop on e3. Bro was saying that I need to take here immediately. Yeah, apparently I'm close to being a lot worse. All right. Yeah, apparently I should just take here. And I just did not like this position at all, though. This is not going to be a fun position for me because d3 is sooner or later going to be a weakness to bishop a6. Like eventually, yeah, computer's already pointing it out. He's just going to play a5, put his bishop on a6, and target d3. He's going to be threatening to play c4 there with good pressure. And yeah, he's just going to undermine my light squares. This is not an ideal form of a chop. Notice that also he hasn't pushed this pawn to d5 yet, and so that makes his bishops a lot more flexible. Yeah, because he has not pushed d6, d5, I cannot clog the lanes. I cannot clog the long diagonal with e4, e5. And so this bishop also has a lot more potential. Anyway, I played h3. Apparently I'm just a lot worse here. Queen c2. That was a good move. Bro played knight b4. I thought that this was a mistake. I thought a6 was definitely better. I was going to try to hold on to the bishop, but yeah, this was not going to be fun. Ooh, dude can play c4 here. Honestly speaking, I thought that this was going to be a bit ugly. I didn't realize my position was going to be that bad. I would have assumed that this is like equals plus, like maybe minus 0.3 or something. But yeah, he could play knight a5 here or c4. Both are very strong. Look at this, knight a5, and he's just playing for c4 too soon. Yeah, this does not look fun at all. I have to get my queen out of the way to make room for the bishop. But then he takes... Like, this is very good for him. This is clearly very good for him. Another thing he has, though, he can even just do this. And yeah, c4 is fantastic. Look at this. I can't take here because of knight takes. So I'm going to have to try bishop c2. He's going to get this exchange in. This looks like a really fantastic form of a dragon Sicilian. This is like a dream dragon Sicilian for him. My knight hasn't even gotten to c3. I've gotten nowhere close to getting any type of kingside play going with my pawns. This is just a disaster. He's going to play rook c8. Probably he's going to reroute the knight to b7 and c5. Yeah, like look at that right there. He's putting his knight on b7 in some of these lines. Also this one as well. Knight is going to go to c5. The long-term issue I have here is that e4 is super weak in this position because I've traded off my d-pawn. So all in all, yeah, this would be pretty tough. Luckily for me, though, bro botched it. Bro slipped on a banana peel. I played bishop e3. Apparently this is inaccurate. I should play a4 and b5. No, not b5. He's going to crunch. Don't want to play a4 and b5 yet. Instead, I'm going to play a4, takes, then what? Just install the knight on c4? d4, interesting. d4 is not intuitive at all for me because d4, it looks like you get a nice center and all, but you are playing against the bishops. You should be trying to keep your center as compact as possible. I guess the silver lining here is that I'm going to have time for d5, and he just doesn't have any way to implode the center in the meantime. Like, if he had a way to trade this pawn off, if he had a way to force these pawns off the board, this would definitely be bad. But fortunately for me, if he plays something like rook c8, I have time for d5. All right, that makes sense. So I played bishop e3, slightly inaccurate, rook c8, knight a3. Apparently I'm supposed to play a4 now. And what now? Am I supposed to play b5 or b takes? I think this is almost identical. Like, yeah, computer, that's very interesting. Like, computer's pointing out that I could put my pawn on b5 and knight on c3. That's not intuitive at all for me. I would always be going for b5, knight a3, knight c4. Guys, the underlying logic of all these different positions and all these different variations is that my opponent has the bishop pair. I want to make sure that my knights have good squares, and if possible, I want to avoid opening more diagonals. So knight a3, bishop d7, rook c1, queen b8. I took, put the knight on e5. I thought that that was good. Apparently knight c4 is better. Oh, this makes so much more sense. Yeah, if b5, then this other knight comes to e5. This is a much healthier way to do it. Look at this. Knight is attacking this. I got my bishop attacking the pawn. Queen and rook are not being blocked by a knight on c4 here. This is so much better. Yeah, I gotta remember this. Also, this knight on f3 just has a lot more potential in a lot of positions. It can go to g5. Still got the broken mouse. It can go to g5. It can do a bunch of things. It can hop around to h2 and g4. Maybe that's not such a serious issue, but I think, yeah, the big difference, though, is just it doesn't block the c file. It has ideas of g5. And it's just much more healthy and out of the way. It can't get pushed by b5 in comparison to if it stood on c4. So I played knight e5, b6, knight c4, a4. I thought that was a very good move. If you have knights here and here, you need to make sure that this knight stays secure. You want to prevent their b6, b5 stuff. All right, bro played bishop e8. I played b3, knight d7. Move my knight back. I thought that this was a big mistake, and the computer agrees. Yeah, he should not be trading bishops here. He's going to have lots of weaknesses on the king side. Queen f2. Apparently that's a mistake. What am I supposed to do? Takes. And f5. I didn't like knight c5 here, but yeah, I would assume if I just play something like queen d2, the game should just be over. Computer's pointing out f6, which is really nice. Look at that. If takes, this is just a dream position. Look at this. Look at these dark squares. My queen is also getting into the action. I'm wondering, though, if he plays king g7, where is the immediate win? I guess, oh, look at this. I play queen f2. I'm threatening to take and then take here with an attack. I guess bro has to try something like rook c7. That's what computer was pointing out. Then I play knight e5. This is a disaster. What if he plays queen c7? Then I just take, and yeah, I'm breaking through here. And then what? I have knight d6? Yeah, this looks terrible. But knight d6, rook d8, and then what? And then I cement the knight in place. Yeah, and bro's also even pinned here. I don't even have to worry about knight takes b3 stuff. Yeah. I'm up a pawn. My knight is tremendous here. My knight is putting good pressure on f7, and I have a very simple plan. I'm just going to play rook f6, rook f1, and break through on f7 with a winning attack. All right, so I slipped on a banana peel here. I played queen f2. Bro played h5. Yeah, I really wanted to do this and takes here, because if he takes here, I have mate. The problem, though, is he just plays knight f6, and I'm losing. Queen is hit, knight is hit. I'm just going to be losing material. Computer is pointing out, though, that in this position, I could just play f5. And that's wild. My knight is sort of trapped here. My knight is trapped, but at the same time, it is actually a good attacker. As long as it stays on the board, as long as it continues to exist, it's attacking important squares for my attack. Yeah, if he takes here, I would just take back, keeping hold of the knight. If he plays knight f6, I could just take, play queen g5. Yeah, I have very strong attacking chances now. Queen is really fitting in well here. It's really important to say, I should have mentioned this immediately, that while this move technically is best, computer is saying it's best, it is a very weakening move. The fact that he has to play such a move is a sign of how bad his position is. Why is this such a weakening move? Well, first of all, it weakens g6 and g5 because the pawn can never defend these. So normally after h5, the first move I would look at is f5. Another problem with h5 is that he can never dig into g5 anymore. And so because of that, if we go back to this position, you know, if his pawn was on h7 here, at least it would be defending g6. Now, no matter what happens, my queen is just going to be able to enjoy this outpost here. This is an outpost. Where's the yellow? There's the yellow square. Fantastic queen on a fantastic outpost. I can play knight e5, knight f5. The game should be over here. This is completely winning. Yeah, one last thing I did want to say about this. Notice that in this position, he could take this pawn and maybe like start winning some pawns here. It just doesn't matter, though. His king is already pretty weak. He only has a knight and bishop. He has very weak material defending his king. The fact that I have a queen, rook, and knight already aimed at his king means that there should be some type of winning attack here. So like check, and yeah, already here, this is just a disaster. King f7, I'm just going to take here. f6 is falling under. All right, so in the game, I took, he took, I moved my knight back. Apparently I can play knight e5. I just didn't want to trade this knight off, though, because takes, I feel like his position is simplified a bit. Yeah, and it has, actually. I should take this way, and I'm threatening e6 stuff. With his knight on d7, I didn't have a way to break through on f8, but now without his knight on d7, I could play e6 with really strong pressure. Like, computer's already pointing out that he's just losing if he allows me to play e6. He has to play rook c6 here to stop e6. And yeah, I would just try to create other weaknesses in his position. I would try to play g4, hoping that we could open the h file, and already this would be close to winning here. This is extremely dangerous for him. I have so much more space on the king side because I've advanced my pawn so much farther. All I need to do is open up squares on the king side, open up files on the king side, and I should have a winning attack. So I played knight h2, just move my knight away. Yeah, thinking more about it, this actually does make a lot of sense because if he doesn't, his knight is by far his best piece once it comes to c5. On c5, it's the only thing doing anything. It's putting real pressure on all these squares. Without a knight to put pressure on all these squares, he's not going to have any way to initiate any counterplay whatsoever. All right, so I moved my knight back. He played knight c5. I played rook d1, f6, g4. I thought that that was good. Computer's pointing out e5. I was always hesitant to do this, though, because this always really weakens the light squares. Yeah, like what is the exact, what am I even threatening here? I guess I'm threatening to play f5 and just continue opening the board. But like, let's say he ignores it, because if he takes, then I take back and there's a lot of pressure here. He's really weak in this. This looks obvious to me. This should be completely winning. I can also even think about installing my knight here. But yeah, like let's say he just ignores it. Let's say he plays bishop c6. I'm going to play f5, g5, but how exactly am I breaking through here? Where exactly is the breakthrough? Okay, I could start with b4. He plays knight d7, and then what? And then rook e1? Interesting. Look at this. I just have so many different ways to build up a breakthrough here. I could take and play rook e6. I could take and play rook e7. I could play something like knight f3 to take on g5 and then start like steamrolling these pawns through. I would assume I could also play h4 to attack this a bit more, and if he plays g4, he's weakening new diagonals. So I have a lot of different ways to continue the attack here. And like the critical thing, he doesn't have any counterplay at the moment. All he could really do is take some insignificant pawns. He has no way to initiate counterplay, and he has no way to release this tension here. He pretty much has to just sit and wait for me to open the e-file in some way. If he ever takes here, he's going to be compromising too many squares. So I played g4 here, a little bit inaccurate. Takes, I took with a knight. Apparently I'm just supposed to play queen h4 here. And if king g7, then what? Then knight takes. Oh, this makes sense. Queen is breaking through here. He doesn't have time for bishop f7 and rook h8. He plays bishop f7 here. We'll throw in a check. King g8. This has to be completely winning. I'm wondering where the win is, though. We want to play f5, but queen g3 would be really annoying, so computer is pointing out rook d2. If knight takes b3, we're just going to play rook g2. We're going to aim through here, and now we're going to play f5 next. Bro is just way too slow to do anything. Like knight c5, f5, g5, and I would assume we could even just take here. Taking is good. e5 is even better. Look at that. e5 takes. There are like a million different checkmates coming on the horizon. So takes, bishop d7, queen g3. Apparently this is a mistake. I mean, at this point, we're both in time trouble. Pretty much what I'm just trying to do here, I am just trying to attack as quickly as possible. I know there's pretty much no way for me to hold all this together. If I ever play b4, I'm hanging this. And I could technically defend these with something like rook b1, but my pieces will be getting too passive in the process, and I'll be giving him critical time to open up new files and new channels on the queen side with something like b5. So because of that, I'm just trying to steamroll him on the king side, and that's the way you're supposed to play it. You're pretty much not supposed to even pay attention to the queen side in this type of position. He's already created weaknesses on the king side. As long as I just keep making moves on the king side, I should be able to attack him, and I should be able to do it with eventual success. Bro played king g7, I played rook d2, transferring the rook over. Computer says that this is a very good move. I didn't think that this was good. I thought he should have played something like rook g8 here, or rook h8. Yeah, I thought rook h8 might be even better. Like rook h8. What is wrong with this computer? It says bishop takes g4 is best, and then you play rook h8 and it says rook h8 is best. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, like rook h8, rook g2. I didn't think I had that much here. He could even play bishop e8. It's going to be very hard for me to break through here because I have a lot of pieces pointed at his king side, but the thing is it's very hard for me to advance pawns without creating new weaknesses. If I advance here, then he just trades. And if we ever trade queens, he's completely winning. He's just going to start scavenging these pawns on this side of the board. Computer was pointing out some other things as well, but yeah, like long story short, I should not be trading queens here. The only way this game ends is either I lose pawns here and he eventually wins, or I checkmate him on the king side. There's not going to be any like middle ground. Or I guess technically there's a third option, which is that he wins pawns. I'm not able to checkmate, but I do get perpetual. So there are three outcomes. Anyway, so bro took here. I took back. He played rook g8. I played rook g2. King f7. I thought that this was a mistake, but his position is already really, really tough. Without this bishop on the board, my attack is going much easier. He should transfer the rook over here, though, at least. That would be a bit better. Play rook g2, rook h6. I should be doing well here, though. I mean, ultimately, the main reason I think that this capture here, making this trade was bad, was that it's not even really clear what my knight is going to be doing. Like, my knight looks good and all, but it's actually just in the way of my pieces, and if I want to get it out of the way, I'm going to have to settle for one of these awful squares here. Like, computer's pointing out I should probably be playing knight h2 here, but that's not a move you want to have to make if you're playing for the attack, right? Can you ever imagine the Jester of Tortuga making a move like this? I rest my case. All right, so takes, rook g8, rook g2, king f7. Yeah, he's just losing here. Apparently I should play f5 immediately. If takes, queen h5, this is going to be a disaster. I'm just attacking him way too soon. Bro should probably play g5 here, but then I throw in a check, king f8, and I should just start breaking through. h4, this is always the move I was looking at. I was just trying to get rid of this pawn here. Computer's saying h4 is not good at all, though. I think he's going to what? He's going to take and then implant the knight on f4. That's not going to be fun. That's not going to be good because not only is he going for a fork, but he's also just disturbing the piece of my attack. I want to be able to attack in a vacuum. I don't want his other pieces. I don't want this piece, this piece, this piece all getting into the king side and all of a sudden outnumbering my attackers. That's not what I want. So if we look at this position, though, look at this actually. e5 is the best. I'm just threatening to play e6 with checkmate. And of course he can't take here because then I do break through somehow. Something like f6. Already the computer is declaring its mate in 11. This is a dream position. But what is bro supposed to do, though? I guess he could play queen c7. I'll play e6, threatening mate. Yeah, this is just a disaster. Like, no matter what he chooses, it's going to be really bad. Like, queen e8, check here. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. I could take here. Wow, that's amazing. Takes here. We play f6, takes, and then what? What is the win here? I throw in a check. If he moves, then I'm going to start winning some material back. If he plays rook g8, then this is just going to be mate. Maybe not mate, but it's... Oh, it is going to be mate. Yeah, I'm winning very soon. He doesn't even have a check here, thanks to the great knight on c4. So king f7, rook f3, rook g7, f5. He plays rook g8, rook g3. Apparently this is a mistake. I just kept on missing how strong this move was, this e5 move. Yeah, there's just so much more tension now. There's tension here, there's tension here. I also have a very simple plan of pushing his king back, which might be good in certain tactics. I'm noticing another thing as well. I could just take here and start attacking him from this angle. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense here. This is much stronger. I was a little worried about this because now his rooks are doubled here, but I could still throw in a check. Yeah, he can't go here because then I'm going to take and this is going to get way worse. Like here, what do we do here? Computer's pointing out a bunch of things. Computer... Yeah, this is weird. Computer's pointing out rook g4 is the best move, which is really hard to find. Queen h5, it says queen h5 is the best, but if you look ahead, it's pointing out a repetition and then rook g4. That's a common pitfall that computers do. But yeah, pretty much rook g4, and this should be over. I'm going to break through an f6 sooner or later. He could take, that's not going to do anything. If he plays something like queen c8, then I have this cool idea, knight d6 to distract his e-pawn from f6. Takes looks good, queen h7 also looks good. This should be over. What are we going to do here? Yeah, just check and win the rook. Why am I always overcomplicating it? Just check, win the rook. This has to be completely over. Already up in exchange, we could trade to a completely winning endgame if we want, or we could continue the attack. So I played rook g3, a slight error. Yeah, I mean, at this point now, we're both down to 30 seconds, so literally anything can happen. There are going to be a lot of mistakes from here on out. I don't even think it's really worth paying that much attention to. Yeah, pretty much all I'm trying to do is break through. He should be going for either perpetual check or trying desperately to get this knight over to the king side. So something like this would make sense. He should be looking every single move to see if he can get this trick in to try to get the knight to f4. It's less about just winning this pawn straight off the bat, and it's more about undermining my phalanx completely and also getting his knight to f4, right? So like once he gets this pawn, then he can finally start taking the rest of these, and that's going to be very good. So e5, knight d7, takes. Apparently, yeah. I don't even think there's much point in going over this. Literally, we're both down to seconds here. It's a really wild position at this point. His queen has broken through to the other side of my pawns, which for a very long time I had kept his queen out of. So at this point now, it's just like, it's literally going to be a tactical mess. In terms of defensive resources, his queen being on this side of the pawn should definitely be enough to hold everything together. Like that's why in this type of position, it actually makes perfect sense that it should be zeros here. Like at this point now, I should not have I should not have a successful attack. He has enough defenders to hold off everything. In terms of structural weaknesses, his structure has never been that weak to begin with. It's always been a numbers game that I've been playing for, with having more pieces and more space on that side of the board. That's what I was banking on winning my attack for me. If I don't have a numbers game, if I don't outnumber his pieces, I really can't reasonably expect to have a winning attack. So all this happened. I took. Yeah, apparently if he throws in a check, he might even be better here. This is just a mess. This is just a pure mess. He could play king e8. That is a extremely hard move to find. There's a pin here. Yeah, there's a pin here. There's a pin here, so I should just be cashing out for 2 rooks for a queen. My king is pretty weak, though, here. His queen is going to be very overpowered in this type of position. He should definitely be slightly better here. Computer's pointing out check, queen f1. His queen has a lot of different attacks here. My rooks don't have that much to do. That's actually really cool. Look at this. I have 2 rooks and a pawn for a queen. So on a material level, I should have 11 points to his 9, but his queen is going to be overpowered. My rooks are relatively disharmonious. This knight stops them from doing anything active for the moment. And yeah, I should be worse. Anyway, bro messed up. Bro played knight e8. I played h4. Apparently I could just take here with a win. Yeah, this makes sense. Look at this. Takes, 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 takes. Knight e5 here and knight g4, and I'm winning the queen. Yeah, this is completely over. Computer's already declaring mate in 14, which is nice. So yeah, just everything happened. Yeah, I found some good moves, honestly. I was playing this decently. For a guy with like 4 seconds on the clock, I was playing this decently. And yeah, I should be completely winning here. But no, I'm sorry. Actually, no. The final position is a draw. He has perpetual checks now. Yeah. Bro had perpetual in this position. Of course, like I think at this point though, I was literally just pre-moving. Yeah, I was just pre-moving. 2.3, 2.2. Why doesn't it show my clock at the final position? But anyway, regardless, yeah, this was a really wild game. So what are the takeaways from this? Normally when you have a position like this and you have pawns on e4, f4, and they've already fan-showed their bishop, you should be very happy if they voluntarily trade their bishop, because it's going to result in a lot of weaknesses around their king. As soon as my opponent played this, I realized that I should have a promising attack sooner or later. I chose to go about executing it the wrong way, but pretty much what you should be doing is trying to bring your pieces over to the king side and also be playing for f5 to open the f-file on their weakened king.
Time to go!